The man who built OETA into the nationally respected public television network that it is today was laid to rest on Thursday. On Wednesday, a memorial service for Bob Allen was held at the Oklahoma History Center. Taylor Jackson attended and joins us now. Taylor.
Yeah, Rich, it really was a beautiful service that honored Bob Allen's life and his many accomplishments. One thing that was clear throughout the entire service is that Allen truly loved OETA. Oklahomans gathered this week to pay their last respects to Bob Allen, Mr. OETA.
It's appropriate that we're here together today to remember Bob in the Oklahoma History Center. This is where we collect the stories of Oklahoma, its leaders, the people who have faced challenges and overcome those challenges, those who have seen the opportunities and seized what they could to make things happen, writing history as they go. Bob was a historic character in the history of the state of Oklahoma.
Longtime Oklahoma historian Bob Blackburn was a good friend of Allen's. Blackburn shared that Allen, who was battling a long-term illness, had personally asked him to speak at his memorial service.
He said, I would like you to be part of my ceremony of life. And of course, wiped away the tears. And I said, of course, Bob, anything you want, I'm going to do. He said, good, because he handed me the program with my name on it. He had planned everything for this. And as the family knows, they know about his ability to plan ahead, to have a vision, to be a showman, to make things touching.
Allen's vision and ability to plan is part of the reason OETA has remained one of the top public broadcast stations in the nation.
Bob created this wonderful organization that we have that's funded by both public and private funds. We rely on donors for programming and other things at OETA, and the state provides all of the organizational funding. And so his vision of this public-private partnership is very unique, and it helps us broadcast everything that we do for our Oklahomans.
Allen, alongside OETA station manager Bill Thrash, created captivating content for Oklahoma viewers.
New ideas create new realities. All of those original programmings, all of that original programming in OETA, you know what I'm talking about. The Oklahoma News Report, the Oklahoma Passage, the Movie Club, and the list goes on and on.
He was also responsible for syndicating the Lawrence Welk Show to more than 200 PBS stations in 1987. And he was no stranger to getting on camera for a good cause.
Unless we can raise enough money to replace our transmission line.
Here he is on a transmitter raising funds to replace a cable connector that was destroyed during a windstorm.
It was my honor, and still is my honor, to be part of the OETA family.
Gwen Falconer Lippert was a part of live fundraising events like Festival.
$601,295. Have it!
And the holiday auction.
It's holiday auction time, so come join the fun.
She says Allen's fundraising inspired other PBS stations.
But to this day, people love OETA so much that I can go anywhere in the state of Oklahoma and people will think they know me, and then they'll go, oh, you're that girl on OETA. And I always used to kind of rear back thinking, oh my goodness, I wasted your time. And they would not say that, they would say, thank you for making public television what it is. And it all goes back to Bob Allen. He had a dream, he had a vision, he had a plan, and other PBS stations across the country took lessons from him on how to conduct a fundraising campaign. He was a genius.
For the first time in 8 years, OETA's live fundraising pledge festival was brought back this year, and Lippert says OETA supporters are pleased.
People are so excited that fundraising is back, that festival, local festival, because people really feel like they own their public television station.
Those who worked with Bob Allen admired his thoughtfulness towards his employees.
But he also worked very hard for us as employees. And so I want to just say that he was always kind of caring about us and making sure that we had what we needed. And he also made sure that our salaries were competitive.
I think that probably what I and most people reflect about is his smile, his enthusiasm, and just a really down-to-earth human being. And you could tell his passion for OETA every day.
Allen's peers also say he had a special way of making people feel like they mattered.
And so I was in the production department for about 4 years, and then a news position came available. And Bob Allen, my bosses let me know that Bob Allen suggested that they offered me the job. And I was like, wow, because it's like, I didn't think I was, anybody important or whatever.
Blackburn shared with the crowd that although Allen knew his time was coming to an end, he remained positive as he reflected back on his life.
And he said, don't be sad. He says, I'm not sad. I've lived a good life. I'm surrounded by a great family. We're unified. We love each other. I feel good about the accomplishments in life. Had a great marriage to a wonderful woman. And he said, I'm ready.
On Thursday, the family held a graveside ceremony at El Reno Cemetery in Canadian County, where Mr. OETA was laid to rest.